Okay, if you're looking at doing round about 4.5 minutes or so, everybody will get in. Henry Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I will try to be as quick as possible. I'm very grateful to be called in this debate, and the mood in this Parliament since the general election has just been completely lifted as opposed to the last Parliament, because we are delivering on the promises that we made to our constituents at the end of this week to deliver their vote for Brexit, but also the importance that our constituents place on the National Health Service, and enshrining in law that increase in funding is something that I very much support. £33.9 billion by the end of 2024. That will go a long way to ensuring that we have a sustainable health service for the future. It's in stark contrast, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to when we had a Labour government. Crawley Hospital saw its maternity unit closed in 2001, its accident and emergency department closed in 2005. Since 2010, services have been returning. We have a new urgent care centre that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a new ward with new beds. But ultimately, Crawley does need a new hospital, because the nearest major hospital, East Surrey, is almost 10 miles up congested roads with poor public transport. Crawley is the natural population centre, and I would put in a bid to the front bench for a new Crawley Hospital whenever that is possible. Additionally, one of the real challenges that we face in Crawley is GP capacity, and so I'm particularly pleased to hear the Secretary of State earlier on talk about the importance of ensuring that we have more GPs coming into our system and the amount of clinicians who are being recruited. We have a number of surgeries where the lists have been closed, and yet we have huge pressure on additional housing coming in as well. So I'm grateful for focus on that area. I'm also appreciative of focus on mental health provision as well. Many people come to my surgeries, as indeed they do to all other honourable and right honourable members, where mental health is often an issue, and access to mental health, particularly mental health for children, can be a particular concern. So continuing the investment in that area is very important, and putting it on a par with physical health, as we did in the last Parliament, was important, but we need to continue that drive going forward. Mr. Deputy Speaker, earlier on today, I was very pleased to reconstitute the Blood Cancer All-Party Parliamentary Group. It's a group that I was pleased to set up in the 2015 to 17 Parliament, and we are now restarting the genomics inquiry that we launched just before the dissolution of Parliament in November. So I encourage members and indeed the wider public to contribute to that. We hope to report later on this year. Just briefly, Mr. Speaker, before I finish and allow others to get in and talk about the importance of the NHS in their constituencies, I was very grateful for the update from the Secretary of State with regard to the coronavirus and some of the measures that are being taken and the resilience that is being prepared for. Mention was made that flights coming into Heathrow Airport from China are individually received and screened. There are also flights from Chinese airports to Gatwick in my constituency, and I would put in a request that the Secretary of State for Health liaises with the Secretary of State for Transport and others to ensure that similar screening is available at Gatwick Airport as well. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Speaker.